Imagine spending months, maybe even years, carefully choosing your foods, reading every label, spending extra money on what you believe are the healthiest options, all in a dedicated effort to heal your gut, calm the bloating, and finally feel that vibrant energy you've been chasing. You're doing everything the internet and well-meaning influencers told you to do. But instead of feeling better, you're experiencing more discomfort than ever. Unexplained stomach cramps, gas that makes you feel like a balloon, unpredictable bathroom trips, and a constant feeling of sluggishness that just won't lift. What if I told you that the very foundation of your gut healing journey might be built on a lie? What if the so-called health foods you've been diligently consuming are, in fact, the hidden saboteurs wreaking havoc on your digestive system? This isn't about occasional indulgence. This is about the daily staples you've been told are miracles. Welcome to a reality check that the wellness industry doesn't want you to have. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the billion-dollar deception of gut-healthy foods. I'm not here to bash all health trends, but I am here to arm you with the biological truth, backed by emerging research in gastroenterology and nutritional science, so you can understand not just what to eat, but why certain foods backfire spectacularly for a significant portion of the population. The core principle we must grasp before we name any names is this: a food is not inherently good or bad for your gut in a vacuum. Its effect is entirely dependent on the current state of your unique gut microbiome, the vast, diverse ecosystem of trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms living in your intestines. When this ecosystem is balanced and diverse, it's like a thriving, resilient rainforest. It can handle various inputs and maintain stability. However, due to factors like a history of antibiotic use, chronic stress, a diet high in processed foods, or even infections, many people are walking around with a gut microbiome that is more like a damaged, depleted grassland. It's lacking in diversity, populated by less beneficial species, and is highly sensitive. Now, here's the critical link. Many of the celebrated gut-healthy foods are potent, powerful substances. They are like strong fertilizers. If you spread a strong fertilizer on a resilient rainforest, it thrives. But if you spread that same powerful fertilizer on a damaged, sensitive grassland, it can cause burning, overwhelm the few struggling plants, and create more damage. This is the precise, oversimplified analogy for what is happening inside countless guts. The food itself isn't fake, but the universal, one-size-fits-all label of healthy is a misleading and often profitable fabrication. We are going to expose 5 of the biggest culprits, starting with one that has achieved almost saint-like status in the wellness world. But before we dive in, I need you to do something for me. As I reveal each of these 5 foods, I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Have you been consuming them regularly? Have you noticed any correlation with your symptoms? This is not about creating fear. It's about fostering awareness and empowering you to become a detective of your own body. The goal is to give you back the control over how you feel. Every single day. The first food on our list is one you likely have in your fridge right now, touted for its probiotics and live cultures. I'm talking about flavored yogurts and many commercial kombuchas. Now, wait. Don't click away. Let me be perfectly clear. Plain, unsweetened, high-quality yogurt can be a fantastic source of protein and probiotics for some people. The problem isn't the yogurt itself, it's what the industry has done to it to make it palatable to the masses. When you pick up that small tub of fruit on the bottom or vanilla-flavored yogurt, you might think you're making a healthy choice. But let's dissect the label. The second or third ingredient is almost always sugar, or one of its 50 sneaky aliases, like cane juice, fructose, or fruit concentrate. We're talking about 15 to 25 grams of sugar per tiny serving. That's the equivalent of 5 to 6 sugar cubes. Now, imagine this scene inside your gut. You're introducing a small battalion of beneficial bacteria, the probiotics, into an environment that you are simultaneously flooding with sugar. Harmful, pathogenic bacteria and yeast absolutely thrive on sugar. They ferment it rapidly, producing massive amounts of gas and inflammatory byproducts. So, while your good bacteria are trying to find a place to settle, you've just rolled out a red carpet and thrown a massive party for the very bad actors you're trying to evict. The result? Bloating, gas, and for those with any degree of SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, it can be pure agony. The same logic applies to many commercial kombuchas. They are fermented teas, yes, but to mask the acidic, vinegary taste, brands load them with fruit juices and sweeteners. You're getting a negligible amount of probiotics for a huge hit of sugar, which ultimately does more harm than good to your microbial balance. The solution is not to abandon yogurt entirely, but to become a label sleuth. Choose plain, full-fat Greek or Skyr yogurt with no added sugars. The fat helps with satiety and slows digestion. Then, if you need sweetness, add your own whole berries, which contain fiber that slows sugar absorption. This simple switch transforms a potentially gut-disrupting food into a genuinely supportive one. Moving on to our second gut health imposter, we encounter a category that has been glorified for its fiber content, often recommended as a daily supplement for regularity, psyllium husk, and many commercial fiber bars. The marketing is compelling: get your daily fiber, support digestive health, feel lighter and cleaner. And fiber is, without a doubt, one of the most crucial components for a healthy gut. It's the primary food source for your beneficial gut bacteria. They ferment it and produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which is the primary fuel for the cells lining your colon and is powerfully anti-inflammatory. So, what's the problem? The issue lies in the type of fiber and the context of your gut health. Psyllium is what's known as a soluble, non-fermentable fiber. It works by absorbing water and forming a gel-like substance, which can add bulk to stool and help it move smoothly through the intestines. For someone with a relatively healthy and balanced gut, this can be mildly beneficial. However, for someone with a compromised gut, particularly with conditions like IBS-C, IBS-M, or SIBO, this bulking action can be a disaster. Think of your digestive tract as a pipe. If there's already a slowdown, a traffic jam, or heightened sensitivity, adding a thick, gel-like substance can turn a slow flow into a complete blockage, exacerbating bloating, cramping, and constipation. It's like pouring quickset concrete into a clogged drain. Furthermore, many people jump into high-dose psyllium supplementation without building up slowly, shocking a system that isn't used to it. The same principle applies to many fiber bars. They are often made with a cocktail of isolated fibers like chicory root fiber, inulin, and soy fiber. And then, you guessed it, packed with sugar and sugar alcohols to make them taste good. This creates a perfect storm, a concentrated dose of isolated fibers that can cause intense gas and fermentation in a sensitive gut, combined with sugars that feed the wrong bacteria. The bloating after consuming one of these bars can be profound and painful. So, does this mean you should avoid fiber? Absolutely not. The solution is to prioritize fiber from whole food sources. Instead of a psyllium shake or a processed fiber bar, get your fiber from a variety of vegetables, low-sugar fruits like berries and avocados, nuts, and seeds. The fiber in these whole foods is packaged with vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients, and it's released more slowly and gently into your system, allowing your microbiome to adapt and process it without the violent, gassy reaction. It's the difference between eating an orange and injecting a shot of pure vitamin C. One is a natural, balanced process. The other is a shock to the system. Your gut needs the gentle, complex nourishment of whole foods, not the isolated, harsh bombardment of supplements and processed bars, especially when it's in a fragile state. Now, let's talk about our third fake gut-healthy food. And this one is a master of disguise, often hiding in plain sight in gluten-free aisles and vegan restaurants: processed gluten-free replacement foods. For individuals with celiac disease or a genuine non-celiac gluten sensitivity, avoiding gluten is a medical necessity, and the availability of these products is a lifesaver. However, For the vast majority of people who have jumped on the gluten-free bandwagon as a general health or gut healing strategy, they are often making a critical error that is worsening their digestive issues. Why? Because when food manufacturers remove gluten, a protein that provides elasticity and structure from bread, pasta, and baked goods, they have to replace it with something else to achieve a palatable texture. What do they use? Typically, a blend of highly refined starches and gums. The primary ingredients in most commercial gluten-free breads, for example, are rice flour, tapioca starch, potato starch, and cornstarch. Nutritionally, these are barren. They are simple carbohydrates that are rapidly broken down into sugar in your bloodstream, spiking your blood glucose and insulin levels. But from a gut perspective, it's even worse. This starchy slurry is a feast for bacteria in your small intestine. If you have any tendency towards SIBO or dysbiosis, consuming a diet high in these refined gluten-free products is like pouring gasoline on a fire. The bacteria in the wrong place gobble up these easy-to-access sugars and starches and produce enormous amounts of hydrogen or methane gas, leading to severe bloating, distension, and pain. Furthermore, to hold these starchy concoctions together, manufacturers use various gums like xanthan gum, guar gum, and cellulose gum. For many people, these gums are highly irritating to the gut lining and can act as a laxative or, conversely, contribute to further bloating and gas. So, you've proudly chosen a gluten-free pizza crust to be kind to your gut, but in reality, you've just consumed a bowl of sugary starch and gut-irritating chemicals that will cause more inflammation and discomfort than a traditional whole wheat version might have. The key takeaway is this: a gluten-free cookie is still a cookie. A gluten-free frozen meal is still a highly processed frozen meal. Gluten-free does not automatically mean gut healthy. In fact, for many, it can be a significant step in the wrong direction. The truly gut-healthy path is to focus on foods that are naturally gluten-free: vegetables, fruits, lean meats, fish, eggs, nuts, and seeds, rather than relying on the processed, industrial replacements that fill the middle aisles of the grocery store. Our fourth entry is perhaps the most surprising and controversial: a food that is the darling of the plant-based and wellness community, the mighty kale and its cruciferous vegetable family, including broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage, especially when consumed raw in large quantities. I can already see the comments, but they're full of vitamins and antioxidants. How can they be bad? Please, let me explain the science. Because this is a classic case of the dose makes the poison. Cruciferous vegetables are nutritional powerhouses. They are packed with vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and a host of cancer-fighting compounds. However, they also contain high levels of certain fibers and compounds that can be incredibly difficult for a compromised gut to handle. The first is a type of fiber called raffinose. Humans lack the enzyme alpha-galactosidase needed to break down raffinose in the small intestine. So, it travels undigested to the large intestine, where your gut bacteria ferment it, producing hydrogen, carbon dioxide, and sometimes methane gas as a byproduct. This is the primary reason these vegetables are so famously gassy. For a healthy gut, this is a normal, minor process. For a sensitive, inflamed, or imbalanced gut, this fermentation can be excessive, painful, and debilitating. The second, and perhaps more significant issue, involves compounds called FODMAPs, fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. Specifically, cruciferous veggies are high in fructans, a type of oligosaccharide. Fructans are chains of fructose molecules that, like raffinose, are poorly absorbed in some people and become a rapid food source for gut bacteria, leading to gas, bloating, cramping, and changes in bowel habits. This is not a myth. It's the foundational principle of the low FODMAP diet, a clinically proven dietary intervention used by gastroenterologists worldwide to manage IBS symptoms. Now, add another layer: goitrogens. These are compounds that can interfere with thyroid function by inhibiting the uptake of iodine. For individuals with a healthy thyroid and adequate iodine intake, this is generally not a concern, especially when the vegetables are cooked. But for those with pre-existing hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's disease, which is an autoimmune thyroid condition often linked with gut issues, consuming large amounts of raw kale in smoothies or salads every single day can potentially exacerbate their thyroid problem. So, what are you supposed to do? Never eat broccoli again? Of course not. The solution is moderation and preparation. If you have a sensitive gut, you do not need to eat a giant kale salad or a huge plate of raw broccoli every day. Start with smaller portions. More importantly, always cook your cruciferous vegetables. Steaming, roasting, or sautéing broccoli, cauliflower, and kale significantly breaks down those tough fibers and FODMAPs, making them much easier to digest and drastically reducing their gas-producing potential. Cooking also deactivates the goitrogens. By transforming them from raw to cooked, you preserve most of the vitamins and antioxidants while stripping away the elements that cause digestive distress. It's about working with your body's current capacity, not against it. The fifth and final fake gut-healthy food on our list is one that is marketed as a natural, wholesome sweetener, a guilt-free alternative to sugar, agave nectar. For years, agave was hailed as the holy grail for health-conscious individuals and diabetics because it has a low glycemic index. This means it doesn't cause a rapid spike in blood sugar. Sounds perfect, right? Unfortunately, this marketing claim is a biochemical sleight of hand that hides a devastating truth for your liver and your gut. The reason agave has a low glycemic index is because it is exceptionally high in a type of sugar called fructose. While glucose, the primary sugar in table sugar and high fructose corn syrup, is metabolized by every cell in your body, fructose is almost exclusively processed by the liver. When you consume agave, which can be up to 85% fructose, even higher than high fructose corn syrup, you are sending a tidal wave of fructose directly to your liver. In moderate amounts, from whole fruits, which contain fiber that slows down absorption, your liver can handle this. But in concentrated forms like agave, the liver gets overwhelmed. It starts converting the excess fructose into fat, a process called lipogenesis. This can lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease over time. But what does this have to do with your gut? The connection is profound. First, this liver stress creates systemic inflammation, which always impacts gut health. An inflamed body cannot support a healthy gut lining or a balanced microbiome. Second, and more directly, high fructose intake is strongly linked to gut permeability, often called leaky gut. Fructose can damage the tight junctions that hold the cells of your intestinal wall together, allowing undigested food particles, bacteria, and toxins to leak into your bloodstream. This triggers a constant, low-grade immune response and systemic inflammation, which is the root of countless health issues, from skin conditions to autoimmune diseases. Furthermore, just like other simple sugars, this fructose can feed pathogenic bacteria and yeast in the gut, like Candida, further disrupting your microbial balance. So, you've been sweetening your tea, your healthy baked goods, and your oatmeal with agave, thinking you're making a better choice, but you may be actively inflaming your body, straining your liver, and damaging the integrity of your gut lining. It's a far cry from the natural health food it's portrayed to be. Better alternatives? Small amounts of raw honey, which has antimicrobial properties, pure maple syrup, which contains some minerals and antioxidants, or, best of all, training your palate to appreciate the natural sweetness of whole foods. Now that we have exposed these 5 fake gut-healthy foods, let's talk about the deeper system at play here, because this isn't just an accident. The wellness industry is just that, an industry. It is driven by profit, and profit is made by creating trends, marketing superfoods, and selling you solutions, often for problems they invented. The cycle is predictable. A genuine nutritional concept emerges from scientific research. For example, the importance of probiotics, fiber, antioxidants, or avoiding gluten for specific conditions. Then, the food manufacturing machinery gets a hold of it. They strip the concept of all its nuance and complexity. They take these powerful, beneficial components and isolate them, process them, mix them with unhealthy ingredients like sugar and industrial seed oils, package them in shiny boxes with buzzwords like natural, ancient grains, gut friendly, and clean, and sell them back to you at a premium price. The flavored yogurt, the fiber bars, the gluten-free junk food, the natural agave sweetener, they are all products of this system. They are health-washed versions of the very processed foods we should be minimizing. They give you the illusion of making a healthy choice while often contributing to the underlying dysfunction. This is why becoming an informed consumer is your most powerful weapon. You have to learn to read beyond the marketing on the front of the package and develop the skill of critically analyzing the ingredient list and the nutritional facts on the back. The front of the package is designed to sell. The back of the package is where the truth lives. So, what does a genuinely gut-healthy diet look like? It's probably less exciting and less marketable than you think, because it's based on principles, not products. It's about eating a wide variety of whole, unprocessed, or minimally processed foods. It means building your meals around a rainbow of vegetables, cooked appropriately for your sensitivity. High-quality proteins like fish, chicken, eggs, and grass-fed meats, healthy fats from avocados, olive oil, and nuts, and low-sugar fruits. It means including naturally fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and plain yogurt, if you tolerate them, to introduce a diverse array of probiotics. It means ensuring you get both soluble and insoluble fiber from whole food sources, not from isolated powders. But perhaps the most important principle of all is individuality. There is no single, perfect, gut-healing diet for everyone. An approach that works miracles for one person can be a disaster for another. This is why paying attention to your body's signals is non-negotiable. This process is often called eat, feel, and learn. Keep a simple food and symptom journal. Note what you eat and how you feel an hour later, 3 hours later, and even the next day. Look for patterns. Do you always feel bloated and sluggish after that gluten-free pasta? Do you get a headache after using agave? Does your kale smoothie leave you with stomach cramps? Your body is constantly giving you feedback. You just need to learn its language. This process of self-experimentation is more valuable than blindly following any diet trend or influencer's advice. It empowers you to create a personalized way of eating that brings you genuine vitality and comfort. Understanding the why behind these food reactions requires us to take a quick but essential dive into the gut-brain connection, because your digestive health is inextricably linked to your nervous system. You have an entire separate nervous system embedded in the walls of your gut called the enteric nervous system, and it's in constant, bidirectional communication with your brain via the vagus nerve. This is why you feel butterflies in your stomach when you're nervous, and why chronic stress can literally shut down your digestion, leading to constipation or discomfort. When you are in a stressed state, whether from work, relationships, or even the fear of eating the wrong thing, your body diverts energy and blood flow away from non-essential functions like digestion and toward the muscles and brain for a fight or flight response. This means digestive enzyme production drops, stomach acid decreases, and the rhythmic contractions that move food through your intestines, peristalsis, slow down or become erratic. Food sits in your gut for longer, fermenting and causing gas and bloating. Furthermore, stress hormones like cortisol can directly increase intestinal permeability, contributing to leaky gut. So, you could be eating the most perfect whole foods diet in the world, but if you are consuming it while rushing, stressed, or anxious, you are severely undermining its benefits. This is a critical piece of the puzzle that is almost never discussed in popular nutrition advice. Therefore, a genuinely gut-healthy lifestyle must include stress management techniques. This isn't fluffy, optional advice. It is as fundamental as the food on your plate. Practices like mindful eating, chewing your food thoroughly, eating slowly without screens, and savoring each bite can dramatically improve digestion by activating the rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system. Incorporating daily activities like walking in nature, deep breathing exercises, meditation, or yoga can lower cortisol levels and improve vagal tone, which enhances the gut brain communication. Prioritizing sleep is another non negotiable. During deep sleep, your body undergoes repair and maintenance, including the gut lining. Chronic sleep deprivation is a major driver of inflammation and gut dysbiosis. So, while optimizing your food choices is paramount, remember that calming your nervous system is the other half of the equation. It creates the internal environment where all those healthy foods can actually do their job effectively. As we bring this comprehensive exploration to a close, let's consolidate this knowledge into a practical, actionable framework you can start implementing today. The journey to a happier gut is not about perfection, it's about progression. It's about making one better choice at a time, based on awareness and self compassion. Your first step is to conduct a pantry and fridge audit. Go through your kitchen and look for the 5 imposters we discussed. Do you have flavored yogurts? Replace them with plain, full fat versions. Do you have commercial fiber bars or psyllium husk supplements? Consider pausing them and focusing on vegetable fiber. Do your cabinets contain processed gluten-free breads, crackers, and pastas? Maybe it's time to reduce their frequency and use naturally gluten-free staples like quinoa, sweet potatoes, and rice instead. Is there a bottle of agave nectar? Perhaps swap it for a small amount of raw honey or maple syrup, or better yet, work on reducing added sweeteners overall. And look at your vegetables. Are you trying to force down giant raw kale salads? Switch to cooked versions like sautéed spinach or roasted broccoli. This audit isn't about throwing away hundreds of dollars of food in a panic. It's about conscious awareness. Use up what you have, but make a mental note not to repurchase it or to find a healthier alternative next time. The next step is to embrace the concept of food first, supplements second. The supplement industry is even less regulated than the food industry, and it's filled with exaggerated claims and poor quality products. While specific, high quality supplements can be therapeutic under the guidance of a healthcare professional, they should not be your first line of defense. Focus on building a solid foundation with real, whole foods. The diversity of phytonutrients, fibers, and compounds in whole foods works synergistically in ways that an isolated supplement pill can never replicate. Your goal should be to nourish your gut microbiome with a wide variety of these whole food compounds, creating resilience from the inside out. Now, I want to address a very important question. When is it time to seek professional help? The information in this video is powerful for education and self-experimentation, but it is not a substitute for medical advice. If you have been suffering from severe, persistent, or worsening digestive symptoms such as chronic diarrhea or constipation, blood in your stool, unintentional weight loss, severe abdominal pain that wakes you up at night, or a family history of digestive diseases like colon cancer or celiac disease, it is absolutely crucial that you see a doctor or a registered gastroenterologist. They can run necessary tests to rule out serious conditions like celiac disease, inflammatory bowel disease, Crohn's, and ulcerative colitis, or even cancer. Furthermore, working with a qualified professional like a registered dietitian who specializes in gut health can be a game changer. They can help you navigate complex protocols like the low FODMAP diet correctly, which should not be done long term without guidance, and they can help you interpret your body's signals and create a truly personalized, sustainable nutrition plan. Don't suffer in silence or try to diagnose yourself through Google. There is no shame in asking for expert help. In fact, it is the smartest and most courageous step you can take for your health. Finally, I want to leave you with a mindset shift. Your journey to gut health is not a linear path. There will be good days and bad days. There will be times when you eat something that doesn't agree with you, and that's okay. This is not about building a prison of food rules and anxiety. It is about building a relationship with your body based on curiosity and kindness. The goal is freedom, the freedom to enjoy food without fear, the freedom to have energy to live your life to the fullest, and the freedom from constant discomfort and distraction. By understanding the science, questioning the marketing, and listening to the profound wisdom of your own body, you take back your power. You move from being a passive consumer of health trends to an active architect of your own well-being. So, here is my final call to action for you. This is where the real work begins. I want you to choose just one of the 5 fake foods we discussed today and commit to making a change around it for the next 7 days. Just one. If you drink flavored yogurt smoothies, switch to a plain yogurt with frozen berries. If you use agave, try a teaspoon of raw honey instead. If you eat a lot of processed gluten-free snacks, replace one snack a day with a whole food option like an apple with almond butter or a hard-boiled egg. Take that one small step and pay close attention to how you feel. Does the bloating lessen? Do you have more consistent energy? Does your stomach feel calmer? That single, tangible experience of feeling better will be more motivating than anything I can say in this video. And I want to hear about it. Share your one change and your results in the comments below. Let's create a community of shared learning and support down there. Your experience could be the inspiration someone else needs to make their own positive change. And if this video has opened your eyes and given you a new perspective, if you feel that this is the kind of clear, science-backed, no-nonsense information you've been searching for, then please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. We are just getting started on this journey to demystify health and wellness, and your support is what makes it all possible. Thank you for watching, for caring about your health, and for taking the first step towards a truly healthier gut. Remember, the power to heal is already within you. You just need to give your body the right tools.